We are just around the midway point of Lorwyn season here.
You guys are 3 matches in? Have a bye to come?
Yeah, the bye is next week, I think.
Cool. Yeah, we've got our bye, so.
We need to change the time for the new one, actually. I think we'll see. Alright.
Alright, good to go.
Good luck, guys.
Good luck, everyone. Have fun.
Do it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Team Draft LA Lorwyn Eclipse season. As stated, we are about halfway through. And let's take a look. See what we got. See a Midnight Tilling, Hovel Hurler, Swat Away, Temple Garden. None of these are ideal first picks by any means. There's the Feisty Spikeling. There's some value in flexibility with that the changelings provide, the hybrid changelings, but I don't think I'm about to first pick a Feisty Spikeling in basically any circumstance. So just take a Temple Garden here and stay nice and flexible. Pick 2 is pretty much invalidated by the presence of High Perfect Morkant. There's Encumbered Reedries just fine. What else? Falter is okay. Eclipse Kithkin is great, of course. But it's Team Draft, so we're going to have to take High Perfect Morkant and wonder about what else could have been in this pack to lead to that being passed. But that certainly gives us something of a direction. Pick 3, we see actually 3 elves there with the Iron Shield, the Eulogist, and the I forget the 3-drop that draws when it attacks. So obviously I'm going to want to bias towards picking elves because of the Morkant to pick. And I definitely wouldn't fault anyone who picked likely Iron Shield Elf here to follow that up. But I just think that in a team draft in particular, the Reaping Willow is going to have just much more of an outsized effect on the game. Even though it is another 4-drop, it is a incredibly powerful one. It's almost always going to be a 2-for-1 that requires premium removal to answer, even after it's gotten its 2-for-1. And the hybrid mana symbols offer some flexibility, especially early in the draft here. Anyway, moving on to pick 4, we've got Cinder Strike, as I think is clearly the best card in the pack. No clear elf follow-up, well, the Gangly Stompling, I guess, but I think Cinder Strike is enough stronger that I'm willing to stay a little bit more open and flexible here. Gangly Stompling is still fairly replaceable, even if it is quite flexible. Pick 5, we see another Dawnhand Eulogist, though, and I have to kind of think that the way is at least somewhat clear here, at least early on. Not much else to even consider in this spot, I think. Got a Morkant, and I've got a nice start to a Golgari Elves deck. Cinder Strike is certainly not off the table at this point. The Temple Garden as well could you never know when it could come in handy for splashing purposes. Final fresh pack of the first round of drafting here. See another Feisty Spikeling, Prideful Feastling, a couple of elementals here, somewhat noteworthy. Also Temporal Cleansing, very, very strong blue interaction, but I, at this moment, have no reason to try and move off of my Elves pick. First wheel here, I think Midnight Tilling is a perfectly fine card to take on the wheel here. Elves like filling up the graveyard. It can also, fuel up the Reaping Willow. Just help me find Morkent more consistently. And fairly happy to see Blossoming Defense on the wheel here as well. Green seems to be pretty open, if that is coming back to me from what looked like a pretty weak pack. And yeah, once again, we've got the Moonglove Extractor. It's the one I couldn't remember the name of. There's also the Wildvine Pummeler, which, I'm certainly not against playing, but again, just biasing picks towards upping my elf count when I can. Could take this Rooftop Percher to do just that. Card's been totally fine, but in terms of 5 mana plays here, I think Dose of Dawn-Glow, when I've got a game-winning creature like Morkent, getting to bring it back after it dies, seems like a great way to up my power and consistency. Also, if it gets milled over by a Eulogist or something to that effect. Winding down on pack 1 here, and I certainly, Farrier. Nothing wrong with that. It's a 2-drop that I will pretty much play every single time, regardless of whether I'm Kithkin or not. It's actually a pretty solid little Grizzly Bear that opens up attacks on stalled out boards, forces trades in your favor, that sort of thing. So yeah, I seem to have found the lane here, at least at the moment. Pack 2. We've got Great Forest Druid, another Prideful Feastling, Protective Response, Thought Weft Lieutenant, Eclipsed Marrow, and Figure of Fable. Lots of strong notable cards here, though Figure of Fable, just the clear standout, at least for me. Yeah, not much else to say here. There's just lots of strong options, but Figure of Fable I will, of course, play in any green and or white deck. Again, regardless of how Kithkin heavy I actually am. Excellent thing to get off of to bring back with the Reaping Willow as well. Sort of cheats around the Reaping Willow's mana value limitations by becoming something bigger than the average 1-drop. Pick 2, we've got Bog Slither's Embrace. There's Lisa Informant as well, which again, 2-drop elf, something to be said for that, but I'm severely lacking in interaction at this point. So while I would certainly be happy playing the Informant here, I think it's more important to pick up the Bog Slither's Embrace. And we're just kind of, at the moment anyway, it feels like we're just kind of locked into our lane, drafting elves. Pick 3, there's a Tenafel Rhyme Speaker, a Wary Farmer, Assert Perfection, Spiral into Solitude. I'm a little hesitant to pass Tenafel Rhyme Speaker. I think it's a really, really powerful team draft card in particular, but Assert Perfection is just too perfect, no pun intended, for my deck. Pick 4, we have the Pitiless Fists, which I'm sure I would play in most green decks, especially in the team draft setting. There's also the Moonlight Lamenter back there. But at this point, I think, having just picked up a couple of solid removal spells, I can once again focus on upping the elf count. Grab up this Lysolana Informant. Pick 5, we see not much for us. There's the Chitinous Graspling. Upping the elf count, technically. The Great Forest Druid is not something that I'm going to be actively looking to play until I have a reason to do so. Pick 6, though, we've got some much stronger options here with the Safe Right Cavalry and the Miss Meadow Council. And once again, the tiebreaker here is going to be to take the elf over the Kithkin, even though I do value the card draw off the council pretty highly. Pick 7, see this protective response here. There's also this very late Thought-Weft Lieutenant, though. It's have to imagine that means nobody at the table is in Kithkin at this point. At this point, taking the Lieutenant there is more of a hate pick. I still have no reason to think that I'm not playing elves, I think, at this point. And it seems more important to hate pick that than the protective response, which, though it is powerful, is still just usually 1-for-1 removal at the end of the day. And situational at that. Find time to pick up a Pummeler here. It will get played some of the time. I've got things like the Feastling, the Reaping Willow, the Graspling, all the hybrid stuff to help bring that cost down a little bit. And 6/5 Reach Trample is a board dominating presence. Pick 9, there's just stone nothing for me here, so I'll just take the Spiral into Solitude. I do have inroads into Kithkin at this point. Not to mention it's just probably the strongest card left in the pack. And Moonlit Lamenter, in the theoretical backdoor white deck that I'm building, Spiral into Solitude, it goes really, really nicely with the Lamenter. Take a Nomad over these red cards and a Foul Knight. So, and then a Gold Meadow Nomad. Being somewhat railroaded into the Kithkin archetype here. And I still think that at this point it is possible for me to go either way into Elves or Kithkin. Kithkin is certainly more open at the table than Elves is, so there's something to be said for that. But I am pretty much open to both options here as we open pack 3. We see another Eclipsed Marrow, another Thought-Weft Lieutenant, a Meek Attack, Wary Farmer. Again, no like specifically elves card. In fact, there are 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 Kithkin in here and no elves, I think. So yeah, I'm just gonna take the strongest card that I can potentially play, which is another Thoughtweft Lieutenant. And I think at that point I'm gonna be slightly more biased towards building Kithkin here. I say that, and then unfortunately we're back to elves in this pack with the Creekwood, Safe Right, and the Stoic Grove Guide. There's a Tweeze, which is pretty strong, or notable, I guess. Not really considering taking it here. You know, a little unfortunate. I'm not super happy about flip-flopping here, but I still think that I'm doing well enough on playables that I would prefer to just max out on power. Obviously, Lieutenant and Creekwood are not really ever going into the same deck, but yeah, it's been a bit of a weird draft. Taking a Eulogist there with no Kithkin in sight. I'm not even seeing like any Abzan like interaction or non-creatures, to be honest. I'm seeing some like middling goblins cards and middling elementals cards for the most part. Taking the Reclamation Sage Shapeshifter there just because there's nothing else. Fortunately, Miss Meadow Council is going into either of the decks that I'm building at this point, so very safe pick that I'm pretty happy with, all things considered. And our last fresh pack here has another Great Forest Druid, Dream Caesar, and yeah, basically just nothing for us. Just go with the Dream Caesar here as flying threats and inherent 2-for-1s are of some value. Pick 7. I'm a little surprised to see the Sizzling Changeling still in here. But as I said, I will pretty much play Surly Farriers in any green deck, regardless of archetype. And I am a bit light on early game plays, so relatively happy snapping this up. I'd say relatively. Here we've got Unforgiving Aim, which I guess I should have taken here probably. But I still feel that there's a chance. You know, I basically just don't know which flavor of deck I'm supposed to be playing at this point. And the upside on Blighted Blackthorn, giving multiple activations to Reaping Willow. Seems the upside on that seems more important than just taking some middling sideboard card. Taking a Flaring Cinder there. Probably should have just grabbed the other Pummeler there. Definitely not looking to play like a third Gold Meadow Nomad by any means. And pick 11, Kinsbale Aspirant, so yeah, still very, very likely that I'm the only player with Kithkin at the pod. Just didn't really open too many of the good Kithkin cards. The pod didn't, I should say. You know, second to last pick, Mythic Rare there. For what it's worth. And you'll see, going to the build here, I even had, you know, my base green and then my two alternate versions of the deck laid out above. And my team eventually decides to go with the Kithkin, as it looks like the stronger option with the double Thought Weft Lieutenants in particular. This is Mike playing Goblins for one of the first times in the format. He said he was really not happy to be in it, but the deck was just fine. Here's Alex's Elementals splashing Kinbinding.
God, I would have killed for a Twin Flame Travelers. I just kept thinking, man, nobody else is in this.
Which one was that?
Is it Signpost doubles your elemental triggers?
I didn't see it.